Hey viewers, welcome to Digotech. Today, we'll be building client-side router using plain JavaScript. Before that, I would like to give you a short and quick overview of it. We'll create some HTML elements with a router as an attribute. We'll instantiate a router and add some routes to it. We'll add click event listener to route attributed elements. We'll match route and call this associated handler function. We'll change URL based on history API or hash fragment. Alright, let's dive into code. First, we will create route class with three parameters: name, path, and handler. Name is used to store the name of the route. Path is used to store the path which will be used for routing purpose, and handler is the functions called upon mass route. We initialize them and also we create the getters and setters. Now after creating the route class, we'll be importing it into the router file. Here we create the router class. It also has three properties: mode, routes, and route. Route is used to set the base URL. Routes is used to add routes of an application, and the mode is either history or hash. We initialize them in constructor, and also it has getters and setters. After creating getters and setters, now we will create add method which will be used to add the new routes, and after that we'll create navigate function which will be the starting function for routing application, which in turn called the match method. Inside the match method, we'll change all the routes to its equivalent regular expression, and then we will match the route with JavaScript regular expression function. If the route is matched, then we will try to extract the parameters. If the parameter is null, we'll simply call the handler function. If the parameter is not null, then we will pass it to the handler function. After calling the handler function, we'll call the location method. This location method is basically used for changing the URL of the browser, which is based on history or hash. Now, after creating the router class, we will import it into the main.js. The main.js is used in index.html as a module. Now, in main.js, we import the router and we instantiate the router class, and we add the routes to it. Here we adding home route, about route, and the contact route, and also the user route. The user route has a path in the format of user ID action. After that, we will select all the HTML elements from its route attribute and attach a click event listener, which in turn calls the router's navigate function. Now we create a simple HTML page containing the buttons having a route attribute. Now let's check it in browser. When we click the buttons, we see the events call the router navigate function, in turn calls the handler function, and also the location functions change the URL of the browser. Now if we change the router mode to hash based, and again when we move into the browser and refresh the browser, we will click buttons to see that the URL, the fragment part of the URL is being changed.